Hello
Trying to get
and
in.
welcome here to the Vigilance Committee. We have a guest here that is going to help the 1A community with ADA compliance issues that are in just about every county in the country. So we're going to get started on that here. We're going to go ahead and play the intro and then we're going to get started. Here we go. All right, so our guest here today is SC Phoenix, volunteer, ADA Title 3 or Title 2 auditor. So I'll let you go ahead and tell the story there of what exactly you do as far as helping people with disabilities um, and helping with compliance in these different counties that don't have an ADA coordinator.
Right. I disability retired from Richland County Emergency Services as an EMT on an ambulance. My first 2 weeks
Richland,
at EMT school in 1991 was EMS and the Americans with Disabilities Act. I remember it well. So that's what I've done. And it looks like I'm echoing. Am I?
yeah, I think we have you on here twice now.
Whoops.
Nikki,
How'd I do that?
there we go.
Okay.
Are you still echoing or are you good? Because we don't hear the
I
echo.
think I'm okay.
Okay.
How about?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I when I
Where's
became
Richland
disabled,
County?
of course, Richland County is the state capital of Columbia, South Carolina, is in Richland County.
Perfect.
And Richland County, the same Richland County, which is on Patrol Live, Richland County Sheriff's Department, South Carolina, same one
Okay.
on the TV show. So
So I think what we were doing
anyway,
is we were in a live chat with for public safety, and you had mentioned that you would like to help out as far
yes, I
as
do.
yeah. Go ahead and tell us how you want to do that.
Well, here's what I did. I called Meade County and spoke to Human Resources Department, and I asked who their Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator was, and I got a kind of normal answer that I'm used to hearing, or who or what, and I'm like, your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator, that you've been mandated to have since 2007, when the Americans with Disabilities Act said, hey, all public entities with 50 or more employees must have at least one person as their ADA coordinator to ensure that the public entity complies with Title II of the ADA and to accept complaints involving non-compliance with Title II of the ADA. And yeah, even inmates have rights to ADA as well. So that's the phone call right there. And you'll see she's clueless as to what I'm talking about. And
Okay.
that
Yep.
just
Let's go
tells me
ahead
I
and
can go
play it.
right after them. First
Yep.
offense is $55,000 fine up to $75,000 fine for violation of Title II of the ADA.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and play this phone call, folks. Here we go. Um, Hang on. Can everybody hear this? Or am I
I
on the
could.
wrong one?
It's not
Okay.
playing.
All right. I'm on the wrong one. So let me go ahead and get rid of this one. And let me get rid of all these here on this screen because I got my other screen to work again.
Okay, while he's doing that, the Angry Vet wants to know, have you actually filed lawsuits or the lawsuits?
Yeah, I took director of the South Carolina Department of Public Safety, Leroy Smith, into the United States Supreme Court, along with Sealy Carter III and Trooper J.W. Jenkins, Delta 82, out of Rock Hill, South Carolina area, York County.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Okay, I'm going to send you an email because the Angry Vet, of course, as we all know, he has started a nonprofit called SCARS for service members,
I'm in touch
etc.
with Kevin already about that.
Okay, there you go, Angry Vet. They've got all the information. They're already in communication. Sorry, I tried.
All right, here we go.
Office, may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Is this Human Resources by chance?
It is.
I'm trying to locate who your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator is, and I can't find your notice of the Americans with Disabilities Act anywhere on your website, and I can't find your grievance procedure located anywhere on your website, much less the name and contact information and email address of your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator. Can you help me out?
What can I do for you?
Can everybody see that phone number that was on his screen? If you can, and you want to do something about that phone number,
I'm trying to locate that information on your website, which is
let me back it up just a little bit here.
For you. What can I do for you?
I'm trying to locate.
I want to back that up just
I'll
a
keep
little bit.
bringing the phone number up during the
I'm
call.
trying to locate that information on your website, which is mandated since the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, and it's not there unless you can send me the link. I've sent you an email. I'm with the Phoenix Volunteer ADA Title II Auditors, and I sent you 2 emails and also carbon copied the sheriff. And I haven't heard a reply from anybody, so I thought I would just give a phone call. I am disabled. One of my disabilities is short-term memory loss. My calls are recorded, so you know. But I was just trying to find that information on your website. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see compliance with that.
Okay, I just received the first email. I don't recall receiving a different email.
Okay.
When did you send the other one?
Last week, I believe. And I would have carbon copied you and the sheriff.
So you're Richard
Capel. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't want to pronounce your name wrong.
That's fine. No, hey, don't worry. Everybody pronounces it. They say Chapel, Chappelle, Campbell. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm used to it.
Well, let me find out with the county attorney and see.
I'm going to give some people a little bit of time there to write that down if they want. That's Human Resources there in Meade County. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see if they've done what they were supposed to do and get into compliance. And
they have. It's not on their website yet.
Okay.
See what she wants to do and see for sure where this is supposed to be at. And I will. Is there a phone number you want me to give you a call back at?
Sure, this one right here. And I sent you all kinds of educational links to include the toolkit for state and local government on proper compliance with Title II of the ADA, so that you can go straight to the USDOJ's website and look at their toolkit for state and local government and easily follow it.
All right, we will follow up on this and get it taken care of.
Thank you so very much, and I hope to see at least the grievance and notice procedure up within 15 days. I hope so. I don't know if you could do that. That'd be great. I sent you the form. All you got to do is fill in the blanks: who the ADA coordinator is, how to contact them. Please include the email address because disabled people sometimes don't communicate by voice. So
Okay.
I would appreciate that, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
All right. Well, thank you for your phone call.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you made this call back on October 31st, 2023 is what it says here, right?
That's correct. Yeah, the body camera is correct. And yeah, that's when I made the call. The time might be off, but yeah, that's when I made the call. And they still, by law, they have 15 calendar days to reply and respond. But they haven't done any. I'm still waiting.
Yeah. And they don't intend to do it either until they're forced to do it and pushed to do it.
Okay. So
Right.
if
And
we
people
pull-
like Tiffany and Chris are in the prime position to force it.
Yep.
So if we pull up the Meade County website, which one would we pull up and what would we be looking for?
You'd be looking for the ADA notice or ADA link or ADA coordinator. People generally search for ADA notice or ADA coordinator. That's the two things that people generally search for. It's
Okay.
supposed to be there. It's not. It's not on the jailer's website. It's not on the sheriff's website. It's not on the county's website. So they're not in compliance with Section 508.
So I have it pulled up. This is Meade County, Kentucky, local government.
Right. Now in the search line, top right corner, search line, type in ADA coordinator. I can guarantee you won't find a result.
Coordinator. If I could spell today. O-R or E-R?
OR.
No posts found.
Now try ADA notice.
Well, they have public notice. Another.
Yep. Do a Control F search for ADA.
ADA. Says 1 of 5, so there's one. Oh, Secretary of State Michael ADA Adams, once again. And then down low, ADA loadable forms. And stay safe while mobile because they can cause all sorts of headaches with ADA in it. That's all. Okay, so
Nothing
yeah.
to do with the Americans with Disabilities Act. They're not in compliance with Section 508.
Okay, so
All right.
there we go.
So,
Now let's go to the South Carolina Department of Public Safety's website. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, give me just a second. Let me go to Google. Now, South Carolina what?
Department of Public Safety.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pulling it up too myself. I'm going to show you how to find what you're looking for. If you scroll, let's see. Just do a search for ADA on there and see what comes up. Resources.
Notices.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to find it myself real quick. I know they got it. Let's see, ADA. I'm just going to type in ADA in the search thing and get the search results. ADA notice right here. It is. It comes up if you type in ADA. You click on that, and it ADA notice for SCDPS facilities, and it
It's the
says
top
in
one there,
accordance
Vicky.
with. That's what you're looking for right there. It's right there. I'll send you the link if you need it, or have you found it?
I'm on the ADA notice for facilities.
Okay, click on it.
Yeah, because we're not
Okay, and it's
seeing
got an
where you,
overview.
we're not seeing where you click.
There you go. And I don't see it on the website here that I'm looking at online. But yeah, that's what you should be finding on Meade County's website. Go to Lexington County Sheriff's Department's website. It's there. Go to Richland County. It's there. Go to South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. It's there. Go to our state attorney general's office. It's there. Georgia Bureau of Investigations. It's there. Georgia Department of Public Safety. It's there. How do I know? Because I made them do it.
All right. So, and you
This
can do
this is
these
the end result of me being, taken to jail and all that other stuff to try to prevent me from winning this case. But in the long run, as you see, I won.
and you can win elsewhere too.
And here's
I'm not
the
going to fight a
ADA.
fight I can't win.
Yep.
There's no sense in fighting a fight you cannot win.
So this is a way for First Amendment auditors when they get hemmed up over something and they're being harassed and attacked, and this is another way they could fight back by using the law and using the ADA. If they're not in compliance, they can force them into compliance on things. It might not have anything to do with their cases, but we can sure upset the apple cart for these folks that are retaliating against our people. So, yeah.
And of
What
course,
I was
the angry vet wants to know what is the typical windfall. And I think that really what we had been discussing beforehand was that it's not necessarily a monetary win as far as it is a win for the
public
Americans with
justice.
disabilities,
Right.
because
You get
if they
justice for disabled people.
right,
Yep.
and if they don't comply, uh,
Then
I
you can
think you
force
said
them to comply. The first
but
offense is $55,000 to $75,000 fine by the United States Department of Justice. Would you rather settle with me out of court for $25,000?
Yeah. So there is a windfall.
I can teach you everything you need to know. You could settle with me out of court for $25,000. Pretty simple. Or I can take you to court in front of your own state court judge, because the federal government grants a state court, a competent jurisdiction, the authority to enforce Title II of the ADA.
And there'd be nothing illegal about people sending you information or you finding out information as to whether or not people are ADA, these counties or entities are ADA compliant. And if they're not, there's nothing illegal about going after them if they're not.
That's right.
And
So,
like
yeah.
he had said, it's not something that somebody with a disability can cause or force the government to do. I myself can, as I'm looking around at my quote unquote village city hall, if they have stairs and no way for someone in a wheelchair to get into the building except for those stairs, I myself can make that complaint that they're not ADA compliant.
That's correct. Anybody can complain. Say, for example, we know Tiffany Napier is in Meade County Jail, right? Well, all of us know she has back issues, back troubles, right? So we can be concerned about her back troubles, her back issues. We can make a complaint on her behalf because we have knowledge of her previous back injury. You don't have to be the disabled person. It can be anybody that reports it.
Well, and that jail has to be compliant for ADA as well, and with all the prisoners in there. And they're
Yes,
not.
yes, the jail. That's 28.152. It's 28 Code of Federal Regulations, Part 152. I think it is. And you'll find out that's specifically the jails. Inmates deserve a ADA Title II coordinator. So do detainees. And I call them detainees because you're not convicted. I call them inmates because they're convicted.
So we have Utah Defender in our chat here, who's investigating the Chase Allen murder, our opinion. And I wonder if Davis County, Utah, has an ADA coordinator, and if is there a way for you to be able to find that information out for us?
First thing I do is go to their website and do a search for it. That's
Yeah.
what I usually do. That's my first thing. My first thing is to see if the website's Section 508 compliant. That means they have an ADA notice that's posted and publicly available. Okay.
Mhm.
If they're not Section 508 compliance, there's no ADA Title II notice anywhere to be found on their website, like we did find on the Department of Public Safety here in South Carolina's website. We can find it on SLED's website. We can find it a bunch of other places because I went after them and said, hey, isn't it easier to just talk to somebody like me and voluntarily comply, or would you rather me just go ahead and go to the federal government and complain? First offense only $55,000 fine up to $75,000, or would you rather me take you to court and you pay me $25,000 and you're going to comply anyway?
Okay, so like the angry vet asks, after you verify that they're not compliant and you make the complaint, which I guess they have 15 days to
Fix the situation.
fix the situation or let you know what their steps are to fix the situation. If
That's
they're
what the
not
ADA says. That's
compliant,
correct.
okay, what's
If
the
they're not
next
in
step?
compliance within 15 days, then the next step is to tell them, hey, if you're not going to comply, and obviously you're not, you've had 15 days to do so, and you're not, and I've given you the information you need, and you're not, who do I need to talk to make this happen? Because if you're just going to ignore me, I'll go to court and file. And oh, by the way, I'm disabled, so it's not going to cost me a penny. I get informal paupers because I'm on Social Security, Disability, Medicare, and Medicaid. So it ain't going to cost me a penny to fight you in court.
So if auditors out there wanted to get in touch with you, do you have like a public email that you can put in the live chat?
Yeah,
Or?
y'all got it. She emailed me the link so I could be on here today. So yeah, y'all can use that one. My Facebook page is probably the most educational place to go to because on my Facebook page, I remind everybody of my past and my accomplishments from my past and all this stuff. And I go back to before 2022, where it says 2022, and it's I got stuff done way before then, but 2022 is when I started again, doing it on my website and formed the website on YouTube and started, going around with body cameras and doing audits and stuff like that, and getting more compliance around here locally where I live.
So there's a question there for you. So after 15 days of them not complying is when you can sue them. Is that right?
Yeah, you can go ahead and start filing after on day 16 you can file in the state court of competent jurisdiction or federal court if you want to go that route. It's up to you. But I like to do it in state court because then it messes up the whole court system because even the court system didn't know about Title II of the ADA until I brought a case into the state court of competent jurisdiction and they gave everybody judicial immunity and dismissed it.
Now,
So
is this different? This 15 days, is this different in let's say South Carolina rather than California, or is it 15 days countrywide?
Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act states that
So
once a complaint is made, the ADA coordinator has 15 calendar days to meet with the complainant and to discuss the resolution.
so that's federal law, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Federal.
Perfect. All right. So the next thing I want to do then is I want to play another video of yours.
Now, hang on.
Go ahead. We got more questions. I figured we'd do that.
Utah Defender says he doesn't see anything about ADA that comes up for Davis County. And then
so my next step would be to call Human Resources, because they're supposed to know who everybody is, and then ask Human Resources who the ADA coordinator is. And chances are you're going to get a recording just like I got. Or who? Or what? Huh?
And then Angry Vets asks, do we need to give them the info to comply, or are they required to put it out?
There is no excuse in them not having the data that they need. The United States Department of Justice went way out of its way years ago to ensure that all the information was there and available to them. Hence the toolkit for state and local government, which is now, as you can tell, been archived by the United States Department of Justice, because they assume that by now everybody is in compliance. And what happens is they're only required to name one person, and when that one person retires, so does the position.
All right. So this is a useful tool for the 1A community that's having issues with their counties and their public officials and their government in general. So they can throw this at them, get them busy.
So
and
wouldn't
put them into compliance.
Wouldn't that be like using their own tools against them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But federal law says you got to comply with it. So their own state judge would have no choice but to say, y'all got to settle out of court.
What an idea.
Yeah, so the if the process is the punishment and somebody gets hemmed up, and then they're not in ADA compliance, and they after 15 days they can settle out of court with you, and you can pay your attorney's fees with the funds that you get.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is going to help out the 1A community pretty big time. And we're being out there.
I kept seeing the 1As. I kept seeing the 1As out there doing their thing, and I'm like, I got an idea. I'm going to use my First Amendment rights to petition my government to comply with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Oh, by the way, hey, I got this cool check sheet. Guess where it's from? It's from the United States Department of Justice website right here. Look, see? It says since 2007.
So this is why I wanted to make sure and put your email out there so that these folks can email you and get that toolkit or whatever you have that you can.
Oh yeah, you can also look at my video descriptions on YouTube. That information is also found in my video descriptions with links and all.
Beautiful. All right, so let's play this other video this one is the federal building. It's an ADA audit. And I'm just going to play the very beginning, and then I'm going to go right into where you're in a room with someone. So let's go ahead and present this. And if you guys come up with any other questions that you want to answer, just interrupt me, and we'll answer questions.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you then.
Okay.
Utah Defender, who did you send your message to? Because I just checked the email. And then Joko wants to know, are you able to file that without an attorney?
I took Director Leroy Smith, C. Lee Carter III, and Trooper D.W. Jenkins, Delta 82 out of York County, to the United States Supreme Court pro se.
So you can do it pro se. You don't have to have a lawyer.
I made it to the Supreme Court, and then Sheriff Leon Lott arrested me.
So you got retaliated against. How did that all?
I sure did.
How did that all come out?
Well, currently, I'm on trespass notice from all Sheriff's Department property. However, I've been there 6 different times since then, and I video recorded it, put it on my YouTube site. I got Danny Brown admitting to giving verbal warning traffic stops in South Carolina, which is a no-no. There's no such thing as a verbal warning traffic stop. If you get stopped, you're either going to get a written warning or you're going to get a written ticket, not a verbal warning. No such thing as a verbal warning in South Carolina. There's Danny Brown, who's on patrol live all the time, Captain Danny Brown, sitting there saying, hey, I asked him point blank, why are you giving verbal warnings? And his response was, who don't? And I'm like, what's 56.5, 65, 60 tell you? He said, I don't even know what that is. And I said, anytime a law enforcement officer stops a motor vehicle, he interrupted me. He said, just because you don't see it doesn't mean they don't get a blue copy. They just don't want to show everything on the show. I'm like, yeah, but I see it in Berkeley County, but I don't see it in Richmond. And by the way, I got a FOIA request, and y'all have 787 verbal warnings for the last 3 months. That's a problem.
All right, so let me ask that question again. How did all of that end up? Is it not it's not finished yet? You said you went in.
No, he's got 2 ADA coordinators now. He named his Title VI grant writer his ADA coordinator, and he named his attorney, who's also a captain with the Sheriff's Department, his second ADA coordinator. So now he has 2 ADA coordinators at Richland County Sheriff's
Okay,
Department.
but they're still harassing you and have trespassed you, and yet you've been in there 6 other times. Is it because you had business?
Since I've been trespassed, I've been there just to prove to him that I've never committed a crime on his property. Therefore, he came out and arrested me. And I've got Strom Law Firm standing up saying, call us if they arrest you for going in and doing an ADA Title II audit, call us. So I've been there several times doing ADA Title II audits, and now I finally got them to comply on their website. And now they have blocked my email. So if I try to email them, I'm blocked. If I try to call them, as soon as they realize who it is, they hang up. So yeah,
you can always get other people for that. Yeah. So
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go ahead and play this. And this one's different than the one I was talking about. So there's no going in an office. This is only 8 minutes and 12 seconds, though. Let's go ahead and play it.
Hey, y'all, I got COPD, so you know, so forgive my breathing.
Hey, how you doing?
That's Mr. Live BD right there.
Trying to find out the name of the Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator. The Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator for your facility.
You trying to figure out who that is? Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to have you to talk to somebody about that.
Okay.
You have your ID with you? We have a disability, which is Social Security. I'm not sure exactly.
I'm looking for the Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator, who would be the person that coordinates this government entity's compliance with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. You should know who that person is. Everybody that works here should know who that person is.
Do you have any type of weapons, firearms?
No, sir, I do not.
You have your weapons screening, and then I just want to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Go ahead and place all your objects in your hand.
All righty. How's it going? How's it going? Flashlight and Phillips head screwdriver. Forgot I had that. There we go. Ta-da. So we have a check sheet. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So we got a check sheet here that we're going through. And we're looking to see who the ADA coordinator is, who knows who the ADA coordinator is, if that person does their job like they're supposed to. Like, does the ADA coordinator actually carry out these duties? Yes or no? Does the ADA coordinator investigate all complaints communicated?
to the government, alleging that the government does not comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Obviously, they don't, because they don't have a notice sign up anywhere telling me who their ADA coordinator is anywhere. So, and you don't know who that person is. He don't know who that person is. He don't know who that person is. So obviously, somebody's overlooking this and their duties.
So should I go through this apprenticeship form and I'll talk to your supervisor about that?
Basically, I show that to them. Then from here on, it's a waiting game. I never get to speak to anybody, and I leave.
Okay. And was this guy with you? He's got a camera too.
That's live BD, y'all. Live Bravo Delta.
Okay. So he was with you then. He's another auditor.
He is a first day auditor. Yes, 100% first day auditor. And I'm trying to get him to start, using his first day to do what I do.
Perfect. All right. So this next one that I'm going to show, this one is 1 hour and 21 minutes. And this is the one where you actually are able to go into an office and speak with some people.
You might want to look for the Richland County, one I have on the Richland County Recreation Commission. That was an audit where they called a woman in. She came in from her lunch, and her and her assistant both and I all went back in the back office. We started talking about this, and I assured her I'd send her the stuff on the website. I did send it to her. They do comply now, and that was a very good voluntary complying video there.
So this one that I'm looking at potentially showing, this one is not finished yet, is what you're telling me.
The IA, they have cleared her of any internal affairs. They've cleared her of any wrongdoing. Is what
they found
based
no
on
wrongdoing,
the information.
of course.
Right, based on the information they have. But the ADA coordinator is still waiting on making a decision on whether or not she's going to continue to allow me to ride my electric bike where bicycles are allowed to be like Gardner Johnson did before her, or what. So I'm waiting on that now.
Okay. So if people are interested in seeing this one, they can just go there then, right?
Right. If you want to see an audit, look for the woman with the gray shirt standing in front of me, blue jeans and gray shirt standing in front of me. It'll be down below my list, way down there in my list of videos. But it's the Richland County Recreation Commission. That was like a picture perfect audit. They were 100% compliant with me. I was cool with them. I explained to them that I had no enforcement authority whatsoever. I was just there as a volunteer to get voluntary compliance and, all that. That was a very good audit, and it went the way it should have, and now they are in compliance. You can go to their website and click on About Them. You can see their ADA policy right there.
Okay. Do you remember what the title is on it?
RC, Richland County Recreation Commission. Hold on, let me check.
Richland County Recreation Commission.
Yes, sir. That's
follow-up? That's the follow-up?
That's it. Not the follow-up. No, it'd be the original one. It'd be a woman with a gray shirt standing from a blue jeans, gray shirt standing from me.
Is it the RCSD ADA Title II Audit First Attempt?
No, that's the Sheriff's Department where I go there after I've been put on.
Richland County Recreation First Amendment Rights petition.
Yeah.
It's the petition?
I don't think it. Hold on. Let me pull up my other device here. And you should be seeing a woman with a gray shirt and blue jeans standing in front of me. That's what the icon looked like. I'm going to there now. But it's going to take me a second.
I wasn't seeing the face of the gray shirt.
You won't see the face, no.
Okay. All right. I think I've got it then. Let me go ahead.
Okay.
And bring it over here and present it. And this one's 32 minutes, 51 seconds. So we're not going to play all of it, but Can you tell me where to really start on this one?
You can fast forward until you see the girl in the gray shirt standing in front of me.
Okay.
There.
All right.
Because when she walks in, that's what they did. They called her in because I looked so official. Oh my God.
Posted
Anyway.
publicly in the public area where the public enters the building, so that the public knows who you are and how to contact you. You know, here's a check sheet. I'll let you read over that real quick, and we'll go over it together, because that's what I'm here to do, is that check sheet. And it's to help you, you know, voluntarily comply like you're supposed to.
Okay. Let me find out who the ADA coordinator is, because that would not be you.
Oh, that would not be you. Okay.
So that's what we got to do.
Okay.
This is one where it retired with the person.
So was she saying a yes in the beginning that she was the coordinator, and now she's saying no, or?
Yeah. She's not sure who it's supposed to be, and then she realizes that it is her. She's supposed to be doing this, and she is doing it. So yeah, she ends up being her and Greg, the guy that she calls in, or George. I mean, her and George are the two that are the ADA coordinators now. But now they got their stuff together. They know what they're supposed to do. They have everything. They have all their ducks in a line now.
They were clearly educated by you then, basically.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Okay. So let's see how this.
And they voluntarily complied very nicely too.
That's awesome.
Let me find out who the ADA coordinator.
I think we love it when our government officials do the right thing and do their jobs and learn how to do it correctly.
Oh yeah, it's cheaper than $55,000.
Yeah, they don't resist our investigation. It's good. So.
Okay. Sure. Two people don't know.
So did they take you back in an office?
Yeah, she's calling George, and George is coming over from across the street. And when George gets here, we all walk into the back office together and we talk.
Okay, so let's do that.
And in there, I tell them, y'all can be mean to me if you want. Say you don't want to talk to me and kick me out. That's fine. There ain't nothing I can do but complain to the ADA, the USDOJ about it. That's it. I got no enforcement authority whatsoever. But here we go, going into the office in a little bit.
Okay.
You take note of, which is a bad thing. Well, not really.
And that's fine, and we'll do what we can to become compliant.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping you'll do.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm asking, because one of the things that I did when I took this job, I noticed that we didn't have handicap accessible parking signs.
You do now?
And that's because that's what I enforced.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have been pretty much somewhat assuming the role. And give me 1 second.
Sure.
RCRC. State.
Sure.
.sc.us.
She's not able to log on to this computer. We're going to walk to her office.
I'm trying to figure out what is the criteria to become. Can we go to my office?
Yeah, we can.
There we go.
Okay.
And that's just the second part 2 of the toolkit, which is just a very quick.
That website is there?
This goes on page 4. Yeah, that's it right there. You can go to that link. But if you change the notice and leave the notice out and just put toolkit, then you'll get the whole toolkit.
Okay.
These links I'm talking about, you
For
can find in
example,
the
if the
video
disabled person
description.
wants to go.
What's that now?
These links that I'm talking about, most of them you can find in my video descriptions.
Perfect. So like your Facebook page, all of that. Is that what you're talking about? Or the links for these?
Yes, sir. That and
supplied.
here on the video description on YouTube, you can also find links as well.
Perfect.
Swimming. Do y'all have a lift to assist them into the pool?
We do have lifts to assist them in the pool.
Okay,
We do.
cool,
Yeah, we have lifts.
cool, very cool.
Yeah.
And people train to use them, of course.
Yes, I like Garza training.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so what I was basically looking at, okay, this is a 3-credit course.
Yeah,
So
you
it
get
looks
credits,
like-
college credits for it. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah, so I have not been through that training, and that's why I specifically asked what was the criteria.
Right.
So George and I can definitely work on getting that training. I have no problem with that. It's only $165, so $255. George and I can pay for that course and get in it.
You can
today,
do the
so-
free training class where he's at
Okay,
right
George,
now.
what's the website there?
I went to
.gov.
ADA.gov/.
88.gov? Okay.
Yeah.
Toolkit.
Oh, the toolkit. Okay. That's kind of like
I see what you're saying.
The
Oh.
toolkit.
it's kind of like OSHA's toolbox.
The toolkit gives you everything that you need to know and
Okay.
do.
Okay, so let me sign off on this. What we need to sign.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well, here's everything. So you can.
yeah, let me know so that way I know what.
I'm going to leave this with you.
Okay.
I'm not going to count this, and I'm not going to turn this in.
Oh, thank you.
I just want you guys to be aware of it and look into complying with it
Okay.
because it's important, not only to me, but to you, I'm sure.
So I'm gonna go down your
He's
list.
got the last page.
Okay, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go down your list
Sure.
and tell you what we have done and what we haven't done, and I'm
Sure.
gonna be completely
Sure.
transparent with you. Okay?
Sure, sure.
I mean, at least we can be honest. We have actually been working on improving some of the areas ADA compliant anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So we actually have been working. That's something that we did.
My
We did
SCDC
ourselves.
buddy.
Yes, that's something we have done. So we don't have an ADA coordinator here, but we will. Number 2, does it have time and expertise necessary to coordinate the gov's efforts to comply? We do have the time and expertise necessary because that's what we've been doing. Does the ADA coordinator actually carry out these duties?
Well, we do it every day.
We do it every day, but we're not the ADA coordinator.
You
And
just
that's what's getting
yeah.
us.
You're just not sure which one. What
Okay. And so he said that our buildings have to have a sign.
I noticed.
I noticed with the ADA
Every
coordinator's
public
phone
entrance.
number, email,
W-
and
with the ADA person's
everything.
contact information. on it.
Contact information. So we'll work on that.
And it's in that list there too, so you'll see.
Hey, while this is finishing up, Phoenix, I wonder if you could do me a personal favor. Could you look up Lafayette County, Mississippi, and see if they have an ADA coordinator for me while we're playing this?
What part of Mississippi?
Lafayette County.
Lafayette County. Okay.
Yep. I appreciate it.
See it there.
Okay.
Hey, that's your top 5 for the next fiscal year.
I'm already working on CPS, IC, CPRP, AIC.
See, I'm helping you out and giving you college credits too.
Man, I have a master's degree. I don't need no more.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Does the ADA coordinator investigate all complaints community? Yes, we do.
You are now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
do.
sure.
But we do it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Does the government make available to all these people the name?
So she's already doing the job. She just hadn't got the education on this. Sounds like. Okay.
Office address and telephone number on the ADA. Okay. That's where we fail.
That's
No.
where you failed.
That's the no. Does the state of local government make information available?
Yeah, she was doing it.
The the ADA applies to service program? Yes, we do. It's on our website.
Yeah, it is on your website. I've seen it. Yeah.
See?
See, a lot of times I'll do some research before I come.
Okay. Notice on the Americans with the Disabilities Act, we do.
On your website.
Yes.
And you even list a contact person.
Who's the contact person listed?
I don't recall, but you can look it up on your website.
I hope it's not Sharon Collins because she's no longer here.
Well, if it is,
And like you said, they probably retired and nobody replaced them. I'll bet that's what it
That's
is.
exactly what happened. That's why I was there.
Ah, okay.
then you know the deal. This is a nice letter I got from the Criminal Justice Academy.
I'm a criminal justice major.
Oh,
That's
cool.
what I have my bachelor's and master's in.
Okay.
Mhm.
I made that happen after I called a Richland County deputy to enforce the service animal laws that protect me.
Oh, wow.
He showed up as far as I'm concerned. This is a civil matter. Have a good day. No, sir, it's not a civil matter. It's a violation of 433340 South Carolina Code of Laws, and I want you to go to arrest that guy for that violation. Have a good day. It's a civil matter. So then I called the sheriff's department's attorney, Scott Hayes, at the time, and said, when are you going to educate your deputies in Title II of the ADA? He promptly said, I'm not. Click, and he hung up on me. So I said, okay, where do all the cops go to get trained? South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. So I targeted them. Now I got them trained.
George, I'm looking at our policy, and it just says to contact the Richland County Recreation Commissioner, and then the ADA coordinator, it says she may contact the office of the executive director. But the problem is we don't have an ED right now.
Right.
We got an interim ED, but we don't have an ED. So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
And I asked this of the fire marshal.
Sure.
How much time do we have to become compliant?
Oh, you should have been compliant in 2007.
Way before any of our time.
So here's what happens. So here's what happens. I mean, you voluntarily comply, and you and I are cool. You don't want to voluntarily comply, I send it to the South Carolina United States Department of Justice, and then they will voluntold you to comply. Not only that, any federal funds that you've received since 2007, you've received fraudulently because you don't comply with Title II of the ADA.
Yeah, we'll get this done, though. I can guarantee that.
Now that is a real charge right there.
Yeah, I would be explaining it to a federal judge if I did something like that.
Yeah. I'm sure y'all will. I have faith in y'all.
Yeah,
we do.
I've been in the department since August of last year.
Right.
And I mean, since just then alone, we've done stuff where we've improved our parking lots.
Yeah.
Identifying the actual handicap accessibility.
Yeah. And that's my electric scooter sitting outside parked by the handicap.
I saw it.
That's how I got here. I'm disabled too. So I became disabled Richland County EMS. So.
Okay.
And so like they actually had a ADA what's it called? See what it's called. They actually had an ADA inspection done.
Yeah.
Some odd years back.
Right.
So which we had to make improvements to a lot of locations.
Right.
So like our bathrooms had to be remodeled.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
some of that stuff has. I know for a fact that is something that has happened before.
Right.
Because at first I found one because my office was across the road, and I just happened to be over there and I saw they had this ADA. And I said, hey, what y'all doing? I said, what's up with this? They didn't even know anything about it. I said, do you mind if I take this?
Yeah.
They're like, so I took it. I started going through it. And I found out that I was missing pieces of it. So it looks, I think that each location has a copy of that ADA inspection that was done. So I'm trying to find all of them and collect them all. But they're old anyway.
Yeah, some are old, some are new. But what I'm sending you on the toolkit thing, ADA 2010 standards, and that hasn't changed since the 2010 standards came out.
Yeah. Well, one thing about ADA is that once they approve it,
yeah,
that day it becomes.
Oh yeah. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm just an auditor. I come out and check for the basics. If I don't see the basics, then I'm pretty sure that the rest of it's not complied with. So.
Yeah, we're jumping into the fire marshal right now.
All right, so I got a question. Do you have to go to these places in person, or can you do everything by email and even through the courts if you needed to, or would you have to actually go to that county to, file?
I got the Georgia Bureau of Investigations and the Georgia Department of Public Safety to comply by email and telephone.
Okay. What if they don't comply though? Can you still do everything from your home and sue? And
I would have to go to the jurisdiction that they're in, the state court of competent jurisdiction that they're in, or the federal court of competent jurisdiction that they're in. One of the two.
Okay.
Whichever I decide is easier for me.
would you be willing to do that?
Well, that's I've had people ask me that, and you know, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a trained an attorney. That I'm not. So I have difficulties with the rules of civil procedure and all that junk because I'm not trained properly like an attorney is when it comes to all that court junk and the
Okay.
legal jargon. I don't speak lawyerese. I'm
But
sorry.
you have done this pro se in the past, though, right? Where
I
you
have, and I made it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. There's only been one other person that I know that's ever done that. That was Edward Lawson, and Edward Lawson did that based on the California ID law
and you did
and
win.
won. He won. Well, in the long run, I won. Yes. No, they dismissed the case in the United States Supreme Court because the sheriff had me locked up at Alamance Glen Detention Center for threatening the life of a public official, which I never did because
So
Scott
they
Hayes
kept
is
you
not
out
an
of court.
elected official. Yeah, exactly. They kept me in Alamance Glen Detention Center, so I could not get my mail here and respond to the Supreme Court.
And we're finding that those kind of shenanigans happen a lot, all over the country.
Yeah, that's what happened. And so then I went and cold called the colonel and left a message with their policies and procedures analysis person. And he called me back. And when he did, of course, I'm recording the call and I let him know about it. And just by that one telephone call and me telling him, oh, by the way, I was a good friend of First Sergeant Robert Rowe, and I didn't realize he had passed until after he had passed. And he was like, okay, well, I'll get this to the appropriate people and we'll get on it. And he did. He did exactly that. So now you can go to the Department of Public Safety's website. Leroy Smith don't work there no more. And they have an ADA coordinator now.
Okay. All right. Is there any more that we really need to see on here? Because it looks like these guys are completely compliant, and you've already done a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean this is a primo example of how a good audit should go. And they were very nice and kind and said that they would comply, and they've done just that. You can go to their website, you can click on about, you can see all the information you're supposed to see, and they do comply.
Yep.
And
you did
the
follow up with
information
them
they had
too.
was outdated though, which is why I went there.
Ah, okay. So you did follow up, and some of their information was a little outdated.
Right.
They
Yes,
got
I did.
too.
Yeah,
probably.
I have.
Okay.
I followed up, and I got videos of me following up. I follow up with George. I don't follow up with her too much. I like dealing with George better. He's more fun. He's more of a cool dude to hang out with. I don't care for her too much.
Okay. All right. I don't think we have to watch the rest of that. I think you're doing great work, and I think that it can benefit the whole 1A community, and that's one of the main reasons Nikki and I wanted to have you on today, especially with what's going on for public safety. But there's a lot of other auditors out there that could really benefit by your expertise and utilize the tools that you're using. So I think it's pretty important, and it all fits in to the goals of our channel. So I'm glad to have you today.
I'm happy to be here. I like helping people. I want to help people. My grandmother had polio during World War II, so all my life she was on crutches, and I got to see her being discriminated against as a child growing up. And then I became disabled, and now now I know about the Americans with Disabilities Act, which came out in 1990, and my grandmother, would have benefited from the ADA back then, but it wasn't there then, but it's there now. And if we do not ensure, if we do not take it upon ourselves to use our First Amendment rights to verify that our government is in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, disabled people are your largest minority group with voting rights.
Yep.
Who do you want on your side, us or them?
Well, and a good portion of our disabled people are military veterans as well, and that's a pretty
Exactly. I
sizable.
am not, but I respect the hell out of all of y'all very much. I could not
Appreciate.
pass the physical to go into the military. I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I went to Cannon Military Academy. I was a cadet there from seventh grade, a junior Army ROTC school, and graduated with left there actually in the ninth grade because the headmaster said as long as you're a cadet here, due to your foot being screwed up from the motorcycle wreck you had as a kid, and you can't march, sergeant's the highest rank you're going to get. And I had staff sergeant on my collar when he told me. And then they promoted me to sergeant first class, thinking that I might come back. And I just went and took the pre GED and then got my GED, and voila, went to work. So the heck with that. I'm not going to be discriminated against. Now the ADA has come out and I've learned about it. And now I go out and I'm a warrior for compliance with Title II of the ADA.
Well, that's a good question, Dale. Has he thought about doing FOIA audits at the same time he is doing the ADA? Kind of like audit them, uh, like making sure that they're in compliance with every FOIA.
Yeah, that's what I did with Lexington County Sheriff's Department. I contacted the Lexington County Sheriff's Department and said, hey, I'm an indigent. I'm on Social Security disability. I really can't afford to pay for this information, but can you please tell me who your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator is and send me a link to your ADA notice? I can't seem to find it anywhere. So the Lexington County Sheriff's Department was kind enough to respond to me. Now that's the thing. An elected official is totally separate from the county. He's an elected official,
Right.
different office. He's got to have his own ADA coordinator. He can't use the same one.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's
I
got to
did
name
not.
one.
So
So
any
JJ
elected
got to name
official?
one for his jail.
Yeah. I wonder if he has one.
He
That's
doesn't.
interesting.
If he did,
He
it would
does.
be on his website so that people like Tiffany could check on Chris while he's in jail or vice versa. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's required. It's mandated, and that's the other thing. An elected official, the ADA coordinator for the county cannot tell an elected official what to do. The elected official must have compliance under him directly. So he's got to
Okay.
name somebody for that jail as his ADA coordinator. He's got 96 inmates that work for him. I'm sorry, did I say work for him?
You said it out loud too.
Oh God, yeah. So I think he's got more than 50 employees, right?
Yeah. I think Nikki
Okay.
has something to say. She unmuted herself here. What do you got, Nikki?
I didn't unmute myself, but let me, because I'm kind of confused. So the county themselves have to have an ADA coordinator, but then any elected official has to have their own, or does that fall into the um,
They're
50
required to have their
employees?
own. They're required to have their own because the sheriff is the high sheriff of the county. Nobody can tell the sheriff what to do. Nobody is above the sheriff of the county, period. Um, Unless, like in South Carolina, the coroner is the only person that can arrest the sheriff in South Carolina. And the coroner is also an elected official. So I don't know what that is in y'all state or how that works in y'all state. If y'all have a corrupt sheriff, I know the Jeremy Knoll thing went down, recently, but I don't know who is the ultimate person that arrested him. I guess it was state police, but anyway. But in
Right.
South Carolina, supposedly the only person that can serve the sheriff of the county is the coroner. So, which is
Okay.
interesting. So,
But with that being said,
I think she has a follow-up question. Go ahead, Nikki.
right, our elected sheriff is the head of the county police department. Now, the county police department is technically part of the county, so those employees would fall under the county. So that would be the 50 employees. The elected
Okay.
sheriff is only one person. So with
Right.
him
But he has
being
an
one
office of how many employees?
he doesn't have he has one employee.
That's it?
Yes.
That's shocking.
He has his secretary, but he is the
Wow.
boss of the county deputies. So
Okay.
how
How
would
many
that
county
work?
deputies work for him in
25.
total? Huh?
25.
So he's got 25 of those. How many of them are part-time? Work for him part-time?
13 of those.
So 13 of the 25 work part-time?
Yes. Yes.
Well, they would fall under the 10 or more employees. They still would need to name an ADA coordinator. They still have to comply with Title II of the ADA. And if they run the jail, those inmates have to have an ADA Title II coordinator. Period. You know, and it doesn't matter that they have only 30 employees, period. Those inmates still have rights. Those inmates' rights are to have the ability to file an ADA complaint.
So no matter how many employees they have, if they're an elected official, they have to have an ADA.
They have to comply. They're not exempt from complying with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act, period. It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
They have to comply with it. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you are the only elected coroner. You still have to make sure your office is in compliance with Title II.
Okay, so somebody in that area in Meade County needs to get JJ into compliance then when it comes to the ADA.
And yeah, Lexington County Sheriff's Department sent me back a FOIA. That's what I decided to do with them, was to try the FOIA route first. Who's your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator? They wrote me a nice letter on a letterhead stating that we do not maintain such database. Please contact the county ADA coordinator at such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such. How much more evidence do I need to have now that the sheriff doesn't comply with Title II of the ADA? Yeah. So now he does. He's got an ADA coordinator now because he was smart enough to send me that letter telling me that they don't keep up records of that at all and to contact the county ADA coordinator. Oh, wait a minute. You just screwed up, Sheriff.
Yeah,
you just gave me a letter of gold right here, you know, that I could have used to sue you and I could have gotten a bunch of money for it, but I'm a nonprofit organization. I'm not for profit. So I can, you know, I can get after you, but I'm not for profit. So I'm not coming after you for money. Coming after you for compliance.
So any moderators that are in the channel here, if you could put his link in the channel, please go there, subscribe,
especially my Facebook,
like, share, and subscribe. And if you can find his Facebook link too, throw that in there. He needs a lot more subscribers. I think he's doing some really good work that is also going to help the 1A community in general. So
yeah, anybody can do this, y'all.
No, absolutely. And make sure you put his email in there too, because like I said, he's got information that he can send on to 1A auditors as well.
Yeah. Don't forget to check my video comments, descriptions of my videos. There's links in there too.
Perfect. And it was great having you with us today. Nikki,
thanks
have you
for
got
the invite.
anything else? You're absolutely welcome.
Nope. I do want to take the time and I guess pat ourselves on the back. We have been noticed by a bigger channel.
Oh yeah, I remember that. In fact, I've got the video pulled up here. So you're welcome to stay with us, Phoenix, and take a look at this, or you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'll hang out. Yeah, I'll hang out.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and present this. It's a video that was put out yesterday by none other than Lackluster. So
we're not going to play the whole thing though.
No,
because everybody's pretty much already seen.
Yeah, I just want to play a little bit of it here. Make it big. get this
Let
commercial out of
them
the way.
raise your rates. Now, I used to fall victim to outrageous.
You don't have to ID unless she's being arrested, and you know that. I told him.
I just want to go to. Actually, there was a part in here.
Yeah, after you lied to her, 3802. She don't have to ID unless she's being arrested, and you know that.
Okay, so I want to go to this. Right
knows
here.
about 3802, which arguably is one of the most important details of their occupation.
It's like a major drug. Got to get that ID.
Yeah, they're just taught and trained to get that ID no matter what. When I talked to him later, he's like, no, I appreciate you keeping us honest. And, you know, he admits that he had to go back and check out his penal code and whatnot. And he was doing his best not to admit that he screwed that up.
He can't admit it on camera, but he did.
Yeah, actually, he did it on body cam, actually. And he did it in front of a camera later. Yeah, he did it in front of it later. They pulled me over for a third brake light, and I used attorney shield. And I'll tell you what, I pulled that attorney shield up, and Officer Murph was like, I'm not talking to somebody on a phone. And I was like, that's my attorney. And then I talked to my attorney after that, not him. And then Harvey showed up. So these poor cops thought that they were going to get Bruce on something.
Harvey Freebird had been on his way to meet up with Galveston Island Transparency to hang out and do some cop watching. But when Harvey showed up, he happened to find Bruce as the subject of a traffic stop, being held by one of the many officers that know the two men.
Why I stop you, Bruce? Oh, they look like they're working to me.
My third brake light went out somehow. You know, whatever.
The top one doesn't work. Well, tell them to write you the citation or take you to jail. You want your lawyer.
So they got me on this fix-it ticket. Now he's standing at my window staring at my my attorney from Attorney Shield.
Dude, if you gave him your license, you should roll your window up.
And then Harvey Freebird walks up and we got him in.
Did you hear my name over the radio or something?
No.
Or did you just happen to pop
I just came in, dude. I was just fixing to call you, and I was like, "Oh, there's a stop right there. Look on your phone. I texted you. I found one next to the Sammy's Mart. I texted you."
So the funny thing was, I pulled in for the stop. They had a car stopped.
Yeah.
And I pulled in, and then Murph pulls in behind me, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then he spotlights me. I was like, "He's pulling me over."
You were already stopped here?
Yeah. And then his printer went down, so he couldn't do anything. He had to wait for another car to show up to print me my ticket.
How long have they had you stopped?
Join large-scale battles with military vehicles. The online action game War Thunder has received a major update.
United States versus Rodriguez. They got 20 minutes. They better hurry up.
So he's sitting there holding me, and my attorney's like, "We have now been here for 15 minutes." Dude, Nino is standing right there by the window while it's all going, and he's actually laughing his ass off. He's like, "Man, I actually love you guys," because it's comical. He's like, "Yeah, Murph pulled Bruce over and thought he was going to get him somehow on something, and now Murph's having to talk to an attorney. Cops hate lawyers." So now Murph has to talk to my attorney. Harvey comes back over around the corner, and he's filming up harassing me.
Hey, Murph, I got a question for you, man. How you been?
Good. How are you been?
Pretty good. I went to Matt Reardon's lawyers and watched the body camera footage that night when y'all gave him a DUI. You're the one that pulled him over, but Officer Olstein's on camera saying, "This guy's a cop watcher. Let me take it over from here." Why'd you let him take over your traffic stop just because he's a... That's sounds kind of fishy, man.
Have a good night, sir.
You let Olstein bitch you around like that?
Now, see, that's something right there that Lackluster could have completely edited out of this video. Are you recognizing that, Nikki?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and Harvey and Galveston Island know that Matthew Reardon, and they've helped with this Matthew Reardon case as well. So I think it's pretty telling that Lackluster left that part in there. I think he might have a little interest in this case. Hopefully he has more interest. And just so he knows too, when they first rolled out Attorney Shield, I signed up the first day. Probably before a lot of people. It was like within the first 15 minutes that they announced it. So, but I don't get out much, so I haven't had to use it. So, but I just thought that was interesting that he didn't take this out in editing when he could have easily done it because it doesn't really fit the whole story that he's putting out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I just, I'm thankful to Bruce, Galveston Island Transparency, or Harvey with Harvey Freeberg
Yep.
for letting Lackluster know that our channel is where they could find the story about them using Attorney Shield, and then Lackluster actually using our video also.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was kind of cool. I don't want to play the whole video because he's only had it out for a day, and I want him to continue to get all the clicks and views he can get on it. But we do appreciate him doing what he did. And then one last thing I want to talk about is, of course, the news of yesterday. And just to touch on it just for a few minutes, I got a video here that I found from a channel called Black Scout Survival, and he talks about something in here that we really didn't get a chance to hear anything about yesterday. Let me get this commercial played here.
Feels more like a or two.
I kind of want to go to where it was right here. This is footage we did not see on any of the major channels. It's kind of the speech is going on way up here, and these guys are kind of back here, and the buildings off to the left here are where the shooter was. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they're telling them there's a guy on the roof right here.
Yeah.
Where's the local cops? Since
Or the
it's
Secret
out,
Service.
well, it's outside of the Secret Service range.
Well, still, it's
yeah.
it's 200 yards away. They're supposed to know where all the points are where a sniper could potentially be, and they completely dropped the ball on this. And these guys are just watching this guy climb up onto this roof and fire into the crowd. They're trying to hit Trump. And if you go back, you can hear 3 shots in kind of slow, methodic procession. And I think that the rapid fire shots were he was missing, and he panicked and he just started shooting into the crowd there. And then at the end, you'll hear another. It seemed like it was muffled, suppressed, and I think that was the sniper near the fairgrounds, near that stage, that took him out. We've seen video evidence of something like that today. So. Did you hear that very last one? It was like the real fast shots, right? And then the very last one was there was like a pause, and then the very last one hit, and I think that's when they took the shooter out. And it was a different sound. Did you notice that, Nikki?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a different sound, so it was a different caliber.
Yep. So I just thought that was interesting. And then when I fast forward into this video that he put out, he also yesterday put out this guy's information. Very good here.
Buddy, do you see her?
And I don't.
Yeah, she's as slow as all their ships. Then sink and destroy.
Now I don't know for sure if this is the guy, but you're not seeing any of this on mainstream media, unless I'm mistaken and just have missed it on the news today. Does anybody have information
They
on?
have identified the shooter, and it
And
is not. No,
it is
it
not.
is
It
not.
is not this guy. Okay, so I'm not even going to show that part then. All right. I wonder why he assumed it was that guy. That's weird. Anyway, so my opinion on this is when certain government entities are in power, they just absolutely don't want to lose their power, and they will do anything to keep their power. Just my opinion, but I'm right. So that's my take on what happened yesterday. Anyway, enough said about that. I don't want to get too far out there. But I think we've had a pretty good show today, and I really do appreciate Phoenix hanging out with us a little bit. I didn't want to
I
get
enjoyed
too
it.
much.
Thanks.
You're welcome, and I didn't want to get too much into those other two stories. I just wanted to mention them because I wanted to make it about you today. So that's what we were doing. But I couldn't ignore all the breaking news and ignore news about us too in our channel. So just wanted to show a couple of little blurbs on that, and we're good to go. Do you have anything else, Nikki, before we end the stream?
I just want to say thank you, of course, to Phoenix for being our guest, and then, of course, to our supporters in the chat, our mods in the chat. We really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you get, you share ideas out there. That the ADA compliance could be another handy dandy tool that our auditors could use.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to be with us.
And always thanks to our mods for throwing in the links and doing their jobs very well. My favorite mod is in here. I'm not going to say the name because that'll make all the other mods mad. So, and we're going to go ahead and play our outro. It's a long one, 3 minutes, 38 seconds. And if you've already heard it before and don't want to hear it again, you're welcome to cut out a little early. But I love this, so I'm always going to play it every show that we do. And for those that haven't heard it, I hope you like it. And here we go.
In the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred land. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms and the darkest night, we'll shine our light, we'll stand and fight. For the ones we love, for the ones we've lost. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll bear the cost. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms and the darkest night, we'll shine our light, we'll stand and fight. For the ones we love, for the ones we've lost. In the sun sets low and the spirits run free. We'll stand together, hand in hand, watching over this sacred land.